Good morning, New Freedom. Come on, let's wake up this morning with a shout. Let's wake up and let the world know that here at New Freedom we have the victory. That's what I'm talking about. Not only us, but every person that sets foot in this building has the victory. It is not a mistake why you are here. Each and every one of you, wait, I'm going to do a quick poll, and you all might be doing this later, but let me ask one question. How many staff do we have here right now with a raise of hands that have come through the program and graduated and are back? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So, you know, they gave a preacher a microphone. That was the first problem. But I'm not going to be long. I'm just going to say one thing and pray and move out the way. Oh, it needs 2 minutes. Y'all know. So, in 1 Corinthians, it says, I appeal to you, dear brethren, to have harmony with each other. In other words, be in unity. Let there be no division. Rather, be of one mind, united with thought and purpose. What we've come together to do is be in unity in mind, in thought, for one purpose. And that one purpose is for our members that walk through that door. That's why we come together. No division. We come together in unity. And when we are united together, we have power. Did y'all hear what I said? Power. That's how this place has come to begin, and that's how it's going to be completed. Let us pray. Father, we thank you again today for what you've done. We thank you, Lord, for bringing such an awesome edifice with so many great individuals to come together in unity, to be set for a certain purpose. And that purpose is what you have designed for people's lives to be transformed. We thank you. We give you the praise in advance for the continuation of where we're going. We ask you, God, that you will come into this meeting, bless everything that is said. We ask you to use each and every person for the same purpose, for the building of this place and the lives and everyone that walks through these doors. We thank you, we praise you, and we give you all the glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Everyone say amen.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here bright and early, or sort of late into your evening, depending on what shift you're working, but love seeing all the smiling faces this morning. If I haven't had the pleasure of meeting some of you yet, I'm Siobhan Carragher, and I head up our HR team, our people team here at New Freedom. So today, I just wanted to give a quick recap and overview of all of the efforts and the efforts that will continue around employee engagement and making sure that New Freedom is a fantastic place to work, where you all feel taken care of, so you can continue to provide the support and excellent care to our members. And this extends to all of us. We all have a critical role to play, whether you are direct member service, direct member care, or whether you're in one of our support or infrastructure departments. We all have a really critical role to play in this, so thank you. So I'll kick it off by saying you are familiar by now with Engagement Multiplier. We've done a couple of surveys so far. You might ask yourself, why am I getting another survey? I feel like I just did a survey. Why am I having to do this again? The reason is we want to make sure that we have a pulse and we're gauging how we're doing and how we're progressing as far as being a best workplace for all of you. What we've learned so far is that right out the gate, we're successfully engaged as a team. I truly believe that has so much to do with the fact that we have our purpose, our mission, our values that we're living and breathing on a daily basis. So we're all very much engaged and committed in that. What we have also found out that's really important is there's a question on the survey that helps us gauge the employee net promoter score. So what the employee net promoter score tells us is truly, and the question speaks to it, the question is, would you recommend New Freedom to a family member or friend as a great place to work? And I would say, heck yes, because it is a great place to work. The point that is of that is we've learned that our employee net promoter score is one that rivals some really large national companies, and we're 3 years old. So we will continue to stay the course and really focus on making sure New Freedom is a place that you feel appreciated, recognized, and enjoy coming to every day, so you can continue to do all the great things you're doing. Just a quick recap before I hand it over. I wanted to remind everybody, and we'll continue to talk about these things, based on your feedback. We hear you. We've had probably close to 2,000 comments through the Engagement Multiplier survey. We read each and every one of them. We have them on our radar. If there's things that we can't get to today or this year, just know that they're things that we're endeavoring to do and we really do take to heart. So what we've done so far that will continue is we have really focused on employee recognition, team building, and unity. Those are 3 efforts that go hand in hand. You were part of, many of you, the employee appreciation events that we did. That was a lot of fun. That also promoted unity. We have some exciting things coming up in future quarters where we're going to make sure that we all work hard in a very diligent way. We're going to make sure that we also take time to enjoy one another and have some fun together. So we're going to rally some of our employees who are going to be part of a committee to help us do at least some fun quarterly or a few times a year fun things together. As far as change management, many of you pointed out change management, and the way we communicate change. Change is going to be an ever-flowing thing in our organization. We don't make change just for the sake of change. We always are striving to make change to make things better and to really expand and improve our member care and to make sure we can continue to grow and thrive, and you're going to hear about a lot of that today. So I want you to know that we are going to be, and this is a leader-led approach. It starts with all of us at the executive team, and it definitely extends to all of our people leaders here. We're going to do more intentional focus around proactively communicating change and making sure we explain the why behind it, and when it's possible, to go to the people who are actually implementing the change on our front lines and getting their feedback. Right? So we're going to really be focusing on change management throughout the course of the year, and that's probably a forever thing. We are going to continue to focus on right people, right seats, and our hiring and especially training opportunities to make sure once you're here you can see a clear path to growth. However far you want to take this career and your time at New Freedom, we're going to support you in that. So we've added a behavioral health training track for a behavioral health technician credential. We have many featured trainings, as you know, and we'll continue to provide HR people supportive trainings. And by all means, we've got the Engagement Multiplier suggestion box. Either come find one of us in HR and training, or use that suggestion box to let us know what else from a growth and training opportunity perspective you'd like to have in the mix. We rely on your feedback for that. And last but not least, this is going to be a forever thing as well. Communication. Communication is so important. Knowing who's on the other side of our communication and considering it from their view is critical. So we've done a lot around trying to be more mindful of communicating. And when we can't have an all-staff meeting, this is one example of us really making sure we communicate with all of you. When we can't have all-staff meetings, we'll continue to make sure we're giving you frequent updates. So, to that end, for more communication and more updates on all of your amazing work and how we can see that come to life, I'm going to turn it over to Matt Tierney.
Thanks, Siobhan and Chap, for kicking us off and making sure everyone's well awake now. I'm just going to give a high level of what the leadership team has been working on and tell you what our goals were for the year and how we're progressing along the way, and a little update on OIG and some other stuff. And then Mark's really going to dig into all the fantastic things that you all have done over the last 6.5 months. So we kicked off the year with putting together our annual plan and what our goals were and what we were going to do to measure those. So the measurables were, by the end of the year, we want to have a graduation rate of 60% or better. And we're getting really close to that, so we're on track. We want to have less than 15% reincarceration rate. We're a little over that, so there's some work to do there. And we want the facility to be 97% capacity in the first half of the year. We didn't make that, but we have made it this week, so we got really close. So we got to try and keep it that way. So along the way, the 6 goals that we had was we wanted to have a medical solution defined and implemented during the course of this year. And we had one defined, and we've changed tracks a little bit over the last month or so, and you'll hear a little bit more about that. Determine the next out-of-state location and create a comprehensive plan to launch into one of those states. Improve our retention of our employees to less than a 50% turnover. And Siobhan and her team, the things we just talked about, are well on their way to making sure that that happens. Develop vocational training program as a standalone business. Launch a women's facility and scale to the capacity that the building has by the end of the year. And then establish relationships with Arizona key stakeholders. This is the government, ADCRR, Department of Health Services, ADOH, et cetera, as well as VOTEC. So all of those are under the way. What we've done so far this year, and when I say we, it's the leadership team and all of you collectively, we've launched an employee retention and appreciation that Siobhan just talked about. Our medical solution has been identified. We've done a market analysis on all of 50 states, and I've identified 5 states that we're digging more into to take New Freedom out of state. We have our women's facility identified, and we're hoping to close early next month. We've got a VOTEC school external to New Freedom that we have a memorandum of understanding on purchasing with a close date of early next year. And we've gone and launched a public relations, branding, and a refresh of our website. The branding is done, and you're going to see a little bit of it today. And the website's going to take place over the next 3 months to have that really done and up and running. So it's been a busy first 6 months. Siobhan talked about change. I get asked all the time, when's the amount of change going to stop here? And the answer is probably not anytime soon. And the reason for that is we're a pioneer in a new business, so there's no playbook for what we're doing. So we don't know what we don't know, so when we get to the junction in the road, we got to determine whether we got to turn right, left, or go straight, and sometimes we make the right decision, sometimes we don't. So at least I think we're humble enough to say we made the wrong decision, we'll go back and we'll fix it. And we also deal in an environment of change. Access, Department of ADCRR are making changes, so when they make a change, we have to react to it. And you're going to hear about some of the stuff that we have coming up as to what we're changing for. Just quickly, OIG, you all know that we got a suspension last year, and then we got reinstated. As part of that reinstatement, we had a monitor for a year. We're 8 months into that year. We have a monthly meeting, a compliance meeting with this monitor. They report back to OIG. To date, everything has been very positive, and if all goes well, we'll be off of the monitor's radar and OIG's radar in November. That's really good news. A little bit about our growth plans for this year. We have a women's facility that will be under contract hopefully early next month. We need to renovate it and get it up and operational. That could be 6 to 9 month track. So, whether it's beginning first quarter or second quarter of 2024, that should be ready to go for growth for us. VOTEC, this MOU is going to take us through the rest of the year of figuring out, doing due diligence, and really working on curriculum with hopefully a turnover date that would own the school in early January of 2024. ADCRR, we submitted 2 responses to their request for proposals. We've won the first one, which is a substance and use disorder contract, which is, we proposed on it a lot of months ago. They waited through because they were waiting for the new director to get in his seat, but we've won that. That launches in August, so we're really excited about that. So we're going to be a partner with ADCRR on that. And then the other one that we put in is the transitional services contract, commonly known around here as the SAGE contract. So we responded to that, and they have actually postponed the award of that to the end of this year. They're going through a lot of change inside their organization, so we've extended our price, and we're hoping that by the end of the year that we have a piece of that contract, which I think would be fantastic for our relationship, as well as to help more people that don't come through here. We actually met yesterday for our quarterly. We get an offsite for a day and really plan out what are we doing, what did we do that we were supposed to do in quarter 2, and then what are we going to do for the rest of the year. So here are some of the things that we're planning on doing over the next 3 to 6 months, and it'll kind of touch on the change that we have to deal with. We have to redefine and align our services here and what we do on a daily basis to make sure it aligns with Access's changes. They're changing a lot of things, and they send out new doctrines every week that we have to adjust to. So that's a constant battle for us. They're under a lot of scrutiny, so they're making changes that they think will better their way of regulating what's happening. So every time they make a change, we have to adapt to it. You've probably all heard that ADCR is under a federal mandate, so they're rolling out MAT services. So with that, we have to come up with a strategy of how we're going to deal with it. Our philosophy has not changed, but their philosophy has changed, which means in order for us to service the men and women that we want to service, we're going to have to come up with a game plan to deal with some of that. So that's where the medical solution that we had in place is now getting redefined so that we can deal with what we wanted to do and then what we're going to have to do. ADCRR, I talked about the substance use disorder contract. We got to stand that up. They gave us 45 days to get staffed up and ready to go. So by August 10th, we need to really be moving and starting to do it. And hopefully by the end of this third quarter, we'll be up and fully staffed and running at all the facilities we're supposed to be at. Kyle has been working for about the last year on this targeted investment program. It's something that's been rolled out by the payers, and we are a example of what they're trying to do with housing and working with the justice served, et cetera, community. So that RFP is due the end of this quarter, so we'll work as a company to respond to that. That could provide us with a avenue to make more support for our members as they come through here. Our Voc School, we still have a lot of stuff to work on over the next 6 months, even though we won't close until January. We've got to set our curriculum. We've got a lot of due diligence to do, and we've got to figure out some of the funding sources to get our members that go to that school reimbursed for. And last but not least, I talked a little bit about it. The women's facility, we've got a building, but now we have to make a building the home that New Freedom wants it to be. So there's a lot of work to do that. We'll enlist the support of folks here in making sure that it represents who we are. And then we want to close out the year strong, hit the goals that I set along, and it all rests on you to really execute what our vision is. You have to execute it, and you've done a great job of it, and you're going to hear a little bit about that from Mark. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, how exciting is that, huh? We're going to be off double secret probation. We got a new contract with the DOC. We're going to add a women's facility. Pretty neat stuff. Who's excited about that? Okay, so now that Matt's done such a great job of giving you an idea of where we are going and what our plans are as a leadership team, I want to take this moment to take a look at where we are and where we've been and what you've done to get us here. So I want to start with a couple of numbers. I'm a big numbers guy. So on the screen here, maybe you can read them. The first one, 366 plus 185 is 551. What is that? Anyone? Loud. Close? Not staff? Members, right. So what's 366? IOP in the building. What's 185? OP. We are helping 551 members today. And I want you to think back to December when we had less than 100. We got to start all over again and we're killing it, right? So we're at 366, we're going up to 390, and I'll talk a little bit about that more. Number two is group attendance, 89%. So all the different groups that we have, whether it be exercise or VOTEC or IOP or transformation, 89% we're getting them there. And I don't know about you, but I see these people, it's like herding cats, right? So 89% I think is pretty damn good. Our goal is what, anyone? Come on, Dave, 90. 90%, so we're right there, right? So we got all these things, we got challenges, right? We got SAGE, we got other things going on, but we're gonna get there as well. The third one there is NPS. What's NPS stand for? Tracy? Nope. Tiffany? Net Promoter Score. And what this is? This is a measure of customer satisfaction. How satisfied is our members? So Siobhan mentioned that we have an employee NPS, which we're killing it on, quite frankly. We're killing it even more on this. An 84, to put it in perspective, is along the lines of like a Google or something really high, right? So the question they ask is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend New Freedom to a friend? And we're killing it there. And some of the comments, we'll share some of that with you as well that Catherine's been getting. That's huge. So now let me take you on a little bit of a journey in the past and where we've been in preparation for our growth. So first of all, I want to look at the facility, right? So here's some of the things that we've done. This is going to seem like a laundry list only because it is, and I'm going to give you a ton of numbers because I'm a numbers guy, okay? So number one, from a facility perspective, we've increased our capacity to handle 13 cohorts and how many members? 390, yes. So we want to get to 390. We can go up or down a little bit from there, but that's our goal, is 390. Next, we moved to the new administrative building. So people like me, we got out of the way so the people with the face-to-face with the members can actually do their job a little bit better here, have a little more elbow room. And also we've added our modulars outside, which are going to go live within this month, hopefully, right? We're waiting on some paperwork in the state and that sort of thing. But so we moved the modulars, and look around, we've got 728 new chairs, 29 dining room tables, 86 classroom tables. We refurnished the dining area and new doors and carpeting, all from VOTEC. Shout out to the VOTEC team. We signed a contract with an elevator company to fix our elevator. We don't know when we'll see them, but we signed the contract. Okay, hopefully you've been enjoying all the break rooms on the second, third, fourth floors, right? We've got, you may not have even noticed, but hopefully you're noticing it right now. Are you guys hot right now? No. We invested in new air conditioning systems before the summer hit so that we can all stay cool, and we're still working on another chiller. And we have lots of other mechanical and facility things going on. You guys have no idea, in a building this old, the stuff that happens. Right? So we're dealing with that. You've seen it in the kitchen. You'll see it as we go. And Whitey and his team, the facility maintenance guys, you guys are killing it. Thank you very much for making that happen. So on top of that, we did a bunch of process and technology changes as well, right? And there's way too many for me to list here. And Siobhan said I didn't have that much time. So I'm going to just go over just some that came to the top of my mind. So number one, think all the way back to the beginning of the year, we introduced a new group called the Transformation Group with the Change Company curriculum. That wasn't easy. We did that. The UA process, we've changed it 3 times. And we're going to make it even better. We introduced, in our staffing process, we introduced a new step called the RAP process. We wanted a kinder, gentler way to help our members get back on track. We added that to it, and that's going well as well. And I told you I'm a numbers guy. We have metrics across the entire organization, and we know what to work on, when we're going up, when we're going down, and how to turn those dials to get better on behalf of our members. Okay. And then from a technology perspective, this goes on forever, but SharePoint, you guys are killing it with SharePoint. We are communicating within our teams, across our teams. We're using it for tickets. We're using it for IRs. We're really starting to take that technology train to improvement. So shout out to them. All right, here we go. We're going on a journey of numbers now. This is where it really gets fun for me anyway. So these are all the member-focused numbers that I've looked at in the past week. So from the mentorship team, they have written 13,552 in-reach letters. By hand. That's a lot of ink. And 46,000, I think another 6,000 newsletters went out this year. We have gotten 18 lifers through clemency. And we're helping them today. Yeah. So from a clinical perspective, we have amassed a whopping 108,500 hours of IOP group sessions this year. And performed 2,250 individual therapy sessions. That's a lot of therapy. From the member support group, we've graduated 381 members this year so far, all with over 90% graduation with a job and housing and licenses and Social Security. Which one? The 90%. Yes. So they all graduated with well over 90% of them having a job and housing and Social Security cards and licenses and everything they need to make it in the community. Thank you for asking me to repeat that. All right. And from a member support side, have you guys been busy? A little bit? I think you have. You have performed 21,955 individual member engagements this year. PON has had 8,428 attendees. We performed 72 baptisms. I'm getting to the end, I promise. So, and we've made 894 beds, scrubbed over 3,575 toilets, served 225,875 meals, and did all the dishes. So take a look around. The people in this room and the people that can't make it here today, you're the ones that made this all happen. All we can do as a leadership team is kind of set the path, and you guys are walking down it and you're killing it. So thank you very much. Appreciate you. Joe? This is old hat for you.
Yeah. Hey, thank you all very much. You know, when Mark was going through all that stuff, I got to thinking, I don't know if you all ever internalize everything you do and everything that's going on around you. But Mark asked me yesterday when we were meeting, he goes, did you ever envision this thing being this big? And I had to stop a minute because indeed we did envision it being this big. We had no idea of how complex it was going to be. And he says, it's a good thing you didn't know that because you probably wouldn't have done it. Not a truer story ever told. This morning I woke up, Facebook came up with a memory. 3 years ago today was a Friday, and we were doing a Bible study at my house. We did not own the building, but we were getting ready to start programming in the building. Many of you are nodding because you were around then. 3 years ago, guys. 3 years ago. You have stood this up and stood under massive onslaughts of attacks. And look at you. Don't think we don't see you. We do see you. How many of you were here this time last year? Thank you very much for standing with us in our faith that we would survive that. That was huge. And that you're here is huge to us. Got another message in the spirit I had to share before I roll out what they have tasked me with rolling out. I'm like, chap, you give me 2 minutes. You're going to have to come get the mic back. So, from the prophet Isaiah, and I want you to, regardless of what your religious beliefs are, we're talking about this movement of the Spirit that empowers us. And we're talking about first, from Isaiah, first in a man, but now in a community. And so I'm speaking to this community in the Spirit from the prophet Isaiah. Here is my servant whom I uphold, my chosen one in whom I delight. I will put my Spirit on him, and he will bring justice to the nations. He will not shout or cry out or raise his voice in the streets. A bruised reed he will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not snuff out. In faithfulness he will bring forth justice. He will not falter or be discouraged till he establishes justice on earth. In his teaching, the islands will put their hope. This is what God the Lord says. The creator of heavens, who stretches them out, who spreads them out, the earth with all that springs from it, who gives breath to its people and life to those who walk on it. I, the Lord, have called you in righteousness. I will take hold of your hand. I will keep you and will make you to be a covenant for the people and a light for the Gentiles, to open eyes that are blind, to free captives from prison, and to release from the dungeon those who sit in darkness. That, my friends, is your calling. If you came to chap service, you would know that's your appointment, your assignment. Regardless of your spiritual beliefs, that anointing is on you and on this place, and we are that body that lifts these people up, that pulls people out of darkness, that establishes justice on earth. That's what we're here to do, nothing less than that. You guys do it excellent every single day. From the very beginning, you can clap for yourselves. From the very beginning of this, we did have a big vision. We had no idea what it was going to take. Matt told you how we engaged a branding company and said some of the things we did were complex to teach and to get straightened out, and so they've simplified us. And so what we want to do today is roll out the new mission, vision, and values. About a year and a half ago, I read the old ones from a podium like this. So it seems appropriate, or at least they thought it was appropriate, and I'm honored to take the task of doing that with you, if that's all right with you. So we're going to start our mission statement here for New Freedom is inspire successful community reentry for all members and drive their success through compassionate, introspective, peer-driven support. The vision, New Freedom, is a pioneer in the reentry program space, a complete solution that allows justice-contacted individuals to succeed in life by creating positive change for themselves and their communities. We're going to go to our values. I'm reminded of our friend Kevin Buchanan. How many of you were around when Kevin was around? He always called us when we would sit down to contemplate what we were doing every day, and sometimes it was hard, and he would say, "So I just want you to know that you are changing the lives of people that are not yet born." Our values, servants at heart. Together, we focus on serving others before ourselves. Our genuine desire to give back drives what we do. We are transformative, whether it be perceptions, lives, or our communities. We believe in the power of change. We are compassionate. In all circumstances, we demonstrate humility and empathy without judgment, helping our members conquer their challenges in order to realize positive outcomes. We are tenacious. We believe in the uncompromising pursuit of positive outcomes. With unfailing perseverance, we support our members and guide them through every step of their journey. And we are restorative. Everything we do is focused on making a personal, societal, and economic impact. For that, all of us to have the honor to lead you are eternally grateful for all the great work you do. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Usually I dread following Joe. Today, not so much, because he touched on something that is very true to my heart. The impact that we are having on people on a daily basis, not just in this building, but outside of this building. We are impacting generations of people. If you think about how many people have walked through our doors, since the very beginning, we are at roughly 4,000 lives touched. We have had 1,852 graduates. Of that, 94% are staying out of prison. That's a big number. That's a lot of lives that continue to be impacted by their mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, cousins, uncles and aunts staying out of incarceration. That's a big number. And of the non-graduates, even though we have touched their lives in some shape or form, 83% of those do not go back to incarceration. 4,000 lives. When you think in the grand scheme of things of when we're talking about generational trauma, we're talking about abuse, we're talking about sacrifices, raising children, we're talking about all of these big things. Everyone in this room has now impacted roughly 8,000 people in our community. That we are working daily to stop men and women from going back to prison. And it doesn't have to be big moments, guys. It's the little moments of good morning. It's the little moments of fixing a toilet, pushing a claim through so they can stay here longer. It's the moments when you see that person sitting alone that you sit with them. It's the food that goes into their bellies. It's the smile on a face. It's the fixing of a broken bone. It's all of these things that we are healing people. And in healing our communities, We are saying to all of our members, whether it's through letter writing or the men and women that come here, no matter what shape or form, is we want you back. We want you here. We want to walk with you and be with you as much as we can to save your lives, the lives of anybody that has been impacted from your incarceration, and the lives that are going to be futurely impacted. That's what we do on a daily basis. And I am so proud of the work that we do because it is so important. The United States is one of the highest incarceration rates. And right here in the state of Arizona, we are doing everything we can to change those numbers. And I'm proud of that for us. So with all of this emotional stuff we do on a daily basis, all of this stuff that we do have events where we are faced with our humanity. Since our inception, we have had incidences here where we have had to perform life-saving measures. Today, I want to recognize some of those folks that have performed those life-saving measures. I'm going to ask Nick to come up and help me. This is not an exhaustive list, okay? So when I call that person's name, please come join us here on the stage. Carl Weathersby. Okay, Carl's outside, we'll get him. David Burby. That and a pin. Susan Lovell. All right. Melissa Mano. Stay up here for us. Frank Ibarra. Antonio Brown. LaRonda Wood. That's all right, I'll find these people. Yvette Senna. Earl Egan. Chance Epple. Where's Chance? Carrie Ann Light. And Kayla Starr. It is no easy task to put aside your anxiety and fear when we have an incident where someone is overdosing or having a medical crisis. And as I said, this is not an exhaustive list, but this is the list that I was able to find from the very first days we opened to now of everyone that has contributed in those moments to save lives. So, thank you all for what you do, for going above and beyond. We all thank you. I know our members thank you. And with that said, I think, what am I doing now? Video, okay. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
And at that moment, do you think he realized just how important this was all going to be?
I think all of us knew something important was happening.
I'd say in the beginning, The word that comes to mind was excitement.
And I chose to be a part of New Freedom because I believed in giving people a second chance.
Initially, my head kind of spun a little bit.
They had this amazing idea that as soon as I heard it, I knew I needed to be a part of it, and things came together in amazing fashion.
This is an underserved group that we have. It's kind of a forgotten group. So, you know, we have a track record now of extreme success. You know, it's a unique place. It's the only place I've ever worked that the mission is way more important than anything else.
What the staff here puts in really, really shows. And I think it rubs off on everybody else and the OGs who've been here. It rubs off on the new people like me. And it's really easy to get ready to go and to come in here and try to make this community a better place so that our community outside of New Freedom is a better place. And I think that's the mission.
I think it comes from our peer-to-peer model. We've got people that have the lived experience. They've decided in their lives to make that turn, and they're truly grateful for the turn and other people that help them, and they want to give back to the community and give back to the people that maybe they serve time with or friends.
The reality is it's just a labor of love.
Yeah.
And it's brought all these viewpoints to a place that we really think it's going to reach people.
New Freedom family, it's Catherine. You're in charge of Clinical Kipu Guru, and I just want to say you guys do amazing work. We affect generational trauma on a daily basis, and you all work very hard to do that, and I am so grateful, and I know our members are too.
There's a very positive cyclical dynamic that happens when you get your spiritual fulfillment from helping people that have been in your shoes before.
Kind of secret sauce to what we've got going on here is this blend between kind of this professional, business-oriented group and then the peer level group. So just that interaction between Tracy and myself, for example, is exactly what makes this place special, is you can blend those two. And quite honestly, we're learning as we grow too, right? We're figuring out how to work with each other, and I think we're doing a pretty damn good job.
So when I think about what happens on a daily basis here at New Freedom, the life-changing work that's happening, the transformation that's happening with our members, current generations, future generations, and how our employees are a key aspect of empowering and helping to lead that change. My message to our employees would be one of thanks, and thanks probably doesn't do it justice and isn't enough. It would really be more extreme respect and admiration and gratitude for walking side by side our members and inspiring them and giving them hope and empowering them to have the choice to write a new story. And believe in themselves and make lasting change. So thank you, genuinely.
I was asleep, but I've been awake, lost in my thoughts and the dreams I'm chasing.
I honestly say this program has changed my life. I'm excited for my future for the first time, probably ever.
I know it's you I can trust and call on in the moment of truth. You will always come through. Been overthinking, feels like lately I've been sinking in medio de la tempestad. You won't let me go. Rise.
What keeps me here is the community, the sense of family. When you walk in through these doors, it says welcome home, and they mean it.
I know you got me, so I'm not afraid to rise up above the raging tide. Lay down all my pride. Everything I am, I surrender. Rise, si caigo me levantarás. Mi orgullo te voy a entregar. Everything I am, I surrender.
I never thought, a life like this was possible. I gave up on myself. But, New Freedom didn't give up on me.
So I may be the least familiar person on the management team in here. My name is Mark Skousen. I'm co-original founder of New Freedom, and I actually live in Salt Lake. I get down here as much as I can. A couple years ago, I participated in a Wacky Wednesday event, and I showed a hunting video. So everyone that comes up to me goes, "Oh, you're the guy that hunts, bow hunts elk." So anyway, that's one of my passions. But anyway, Catherine had mentioned a number of 4,000 people that had come through New Freedom. Every one of those 4,000 people that have come through New Freedom has had a mentoring experience where they've been mentored on the inside before they've come here. And it's a pretty incredible number. Anyone that's in the Arizona prison system, most people have received a monthly newsletter that we refer to as the Navigator. And it goes to every yard every month. Joe McDonald kind of heads up the folding of those newsletters every month. And many of you probably participate. I know we get a lot of our members. I think this last time there were 65 or 68 members that participated and folded 7,500 newsletters for this last month. One of the features on the first page of the Navigator is a section called the Guiding Light. And this guiding light, kind of the reason behind this phrase is people like Sean Warren, Joe and Denise McDonald, they really write a little snippet or section that talks about the challenges of coming out of incarceration and how you can be successful on the outside. And so it just inspires a lot of hope with those individuals. Let's see, the header of the Navigator used to display this image of, I'm just reading this so I don't get it wrong, but kind of a stormy sea situation in a boat navigating in the water, looking at like a beacon, at a light. And so we have the privilege today to start a new award here at New Freedom called the North Star Award. This is a perfect depiction of this navigating beacon, really a North Star guiding people in their lives, and that's reason for the whole Navigator newsletter is that's what it portrays. So we want to pay tribute today to one of these individuals who truly embodies this guiding light. This person has been at the forefront of every member's journey since the inception of our movement. And I want to invite Denise McDonald up to the stand. I didn't want to look at Denise right now. She's getting me. So, Denise, today we would like to honor you. And we have aptly named this award the North Star Award because from the first, maybe it was 100 letters that you wrote to now over 7,500 mentees that Denise has probably touched personally, and her team, you'll just forever be, having known Denise for 3 or 4 years now, since we started this journey, I have never met anyone that embodies just this ability to have such compassion and a servant heart. I mean, all those values that Joe talked about up here is Denise McDonald. So. Denise, we extend our deepest gratitude to you, and we honor you with this award today. Denise, you want to say anything? You want to say anything?
Wow, I'm like totally overwhelmed with emotion right now. I would have never thought, when I thought it was crazy writing complete strangers in prison, that it would ever evolve to something so magical, and I thank every single one of you for being a part of it.
Thank you, Denise. Well deserved. Now we turn it back over to the host.
Okay, does everybody have their tissues? Because now it's time for some fun. Okay, so everybody should have your raffle card in your cup, in your swag bag. Okay? Listen, I know, we should have given you guys tissues. Did you know we were going to do this to you this morning? Because I did. Okay.